enjoying our time off. I've been to work since before Christmas. This is great. It's like Happy New Year to me. 855-765-1045 is the number. And a lot of people are saying, look, to keep this thing going, do not give in to the Democrats because they're never, ever going to do anything for border security.
If I was Trump, I'd keep the government shut down. Shut down. Most of the government workers vote Democrat anyway.
I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I'm sure some do.
Biggest threat of terrorism we have is the Democratic Party.
That guy wants to build a wall to keep them out, I guess.
Mark K., the government shutdown is necessary. Build the wall, build a barrier. It's common sense.
It does feel like it's common sense, and I feel like these government shutdowns, they happen all the time. They happen all the time, and they happen when this is not anything new. This is something that we've experienced before, and typically what happens is you have a party come to power after the midterms, and then immediately there's some kind of big blow up, and the government shuts down. Unless, of course, you have one party that just kowtows to the other. And in this position, we don't. In this scenario, we don't have one party kowtowing to the other. And that's something and that's why you've never had stronger leaders in government on both sides. Chancey, they've been there forever and they feel like they run the world. So they're not going to back down. And Donald Trump is a president unlike any other. He's not going to back down either. And somehow he was able to corral Mitch McConnell and the rest of the Republicans and I don't know what happened there, but Donald Trump was able to give them backbone enough to stand up and say, look, you can pass whatever legislation you want. We ain't doing it. Not without border security. Bob in Orange Park. Hey, Bob, thanks so much for calling the Mark K Show. How are you?
I'm doing good. I think we need to have not just a wall. We need to have some prisons built down there in some areas, some factories up against some of those border towns to hire Mexicans to come work and let them go back home with a paycheck. And then we could have military training 24/7, 365 days a year in some of the other areas that are really hard to deal with. But if none of that works, let's just invade Mexico, move the fence way down to Guatemala, which will only be a few hundred miles of fence, and it will make them all happy. They'll all be Republicans over time because we'll make their country so much better. They've already got 30, 40 states there. We'll just leave everything intact and make them come under our laws.
Hey, thanks so much for the call. We appreciate it. Look, you bring up, a lot of that is tongue-in-cheek, I know, but you bring up some good points. If we want to use Mexican workers, and if, Mexican workers are coming here or Mexican immigrants are coming here because they need jobs, because they need money for their family, and a lot of people say, hey, if your family's starving, you're going to jump over a wall. You're going to cut through a wall. You're going to go through a river. You're going to do whatever you need to do because you got to feed your fam. I get that. I understand that, but it's still against the law. That's an interesting idea. Let's build some factories on the border. Let's build some plants on the border where you could have people come up to the factory or to whatever company it happens to be, do some work, and then go back home with a solid paycheck. What if there was a way for us to basically build up and revolutionize the border so that it is something that it's a place where there's productivity and not just illegal crossings? It's an interesting point. But we're not going to invade Mexico, but that's not going to happen. But it's an interesting point. This is Laura in Jacksonville. How are you? Laura, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Laura, what do you want to say?
Oh, great. I'm a retired federal employee, and I've been caught in one of these furloughs before.
Yeah.
And it's exactly as somebody else explained. Basically, you're going to get paid. And they've already passed the bill guaranteeing that they're going to pay the furloughs. I just saw something about that this morning in the federal retirement newspaper thing. And so, yeah, the only real big issue is your work piles up while you're gone. So when you get back, it's aggravating.
Yeah.
And not everybody can handle not having the money. I mean, a lot of loan companies will give you a break and some banks will work with you. But, I mean, generally, you can survive it if it's not too long.
Right, and that's what a lot of people are saying. And I think the longer that you're in the government, the more you probably expect it. I think the longer that you've been, like you said, you've been through these furloughs before. And I've never worked for the government, but perhaps maybe they should start saying, hey, this is one of the reasons why you need to prepare yourself. You need to have some kind of, a backlog of funds or some kind of rainy, we call it a rainy day account. You could just call it the furlough account. And this is also why I don't inspire anyone to work for the government. Nat in Jacksonville, how are you?
It's Nate, but I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, Nate, sorry about that. How are you, Nate? What did you want to say?
Well, kind of in line with what you were just saying, coming from having missed a few paychecks in my time, it's never any fun. But if you're making over $100,000 a year, and you're working in an industry where you frequently have work stoppages where you're going to get paid eventually, but you may miss a check or two.
Yeah.
And you haven't set any funds aside or taken out some sort of insurance policy in case something like that happens, you're pretty stupid. I don't really feel very sorry for you.
I mean, look, if you're a new government employee, maybe you haven't experienced this yet. You didn't know that this was something that was going to happen, and now it's happening to you, and you take it and you learn from it. But even here, I work for a private company, and there was a time a couple years ago, I remember there was some kind of clerical error, or somebody didn't get the payroll in on time or whatever, and so we got our paychecks, and it was like maybe half of what we usually expect it to be. And we had to go, and they're like, look, we're going to figure it out as best we can. But we had to go another 2-week period, and then they made it up. So our next paycheck was, 150% of our paycheck. But luckily, I had enough funds saved. We had some savings. We were okay. We still made our bills. We paid it all. It could happen in any industry. You could show up at work think about the people that Latitude 360. Remember that place? Remember they showed up for work and there was just the guy shut it down, just left a note on the door saying, hey, by the way, if you're showing up for work, ain't no more work. Place is closed. It could happen to any industry, to any company, to any person at any and all times. You are never guaranteed a job. Whether you work for the government, you're probably more likely to be guaranteed a job and to have that job longer. In fact, over the course of your life, sure, you may not be working for 2 weeks here, you may not be getting paid, but I know government workers that get paid for 20, 30, 40 years. I mean, my father-in-law was a government worker. Same job, same desk, same place, never had an issue, never had a problem, same paycheck, pension, getting paid every month, even though he hasn't worked in like 15 years. My brother-in-law, the same way, works for the government, works for the Department of the Navy, goes in every day, gets his money. In the long run, you're probably better off working for the government. This furlough is going to be a blip, and you're going to get all that money back. 855-765-1045. I got to take another quick break. More of your phone calls, some of your open mic messages coming up. This is the Mark Kaye Show on News 104.5 WOKV.
This is News 104.5 WOKV. Wakeoff's AC brings you the 5-day forecast. When your AC breaks, they get there fast.
Most baby boomers have told me they had no idea what they were facing tax-wise in their retirement. Imagine paying more taxes in retirement than when you were working. Do you want to stop the tax madness and hold on to your hard-earned savings? I'm best-selling author and wealth strategist Chuck Oliver, and my mission is helping people keep what they've worked so hard to earn. You can do nothing and just let life happen, or you can take action and attend my short, free educational webinar, retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com.
Do you have glaucoma or high eye pressure? Are you forced to use daily eye drops? If so, this message may be for you. Local doctors are conducting a clinical research study of an investigational dropless therapy, and they're looking for participants right here in this area. To qualify, you must have glaucoma or high eye pressure in both eyes and have not had surgery for your glaucoma. If you qualify, you'll receive study medication at no cost, along with study-related exams by an eye doctor throughout the study. No insurance is needed, and there's no cost to participate. Compensation is available for your time and travel, but space is limited. To see if you qualify, call 844-3-MY-EYES or visit myeyecarestudy.com. If you have glaucoma or high eye pressure, don't miss out on this exciting clinical research study. Call 844-3-MY-EYES or visit myeyecarestudy.com. That's 844-3-MY-EYES or visit myeyecarestudy.com. This is News 104.5 WOKV, where Jacksonville turns first for breaking news, severe weather, and traffic alerts. On air, online, on every device with the WOKV app.
Live team coverage starts now.
Good morning in Jacksonville. It's 10:30. I'm Adam Kirk, and our top national story. President Trump will host a roundtable discussion on border security at the White House today. Attendees include selected state and local officials. Meantime, Congress is still locked in that fight to reopen the government.
I'm Jamie Dupree in Washington. For the fourth time this week, the House is ready to pass a bill today to reopen parts of the federal government. This latest plan includes funding for the EPA and the National Park Service, but Republicans are refusing to vote on the bills in the Senate on this 21st day of a partial government shutdown.
Our Washington insider Jamie Dupree is keeping up with the latest developments in his blog at WOKV.com. We're learning a little bit more about the attempted murder-suicide in Volano Beach. Deputies say a husband, 71-year-old John Reed Jr., died, and his wife, 61-year-old Tracy Cunningham, is in critical condition.
This appears to be a husband and wife. This is a domestic type situation. There was an argument from what we've derived so far, which indicates to us that the male subject pulled a firearm, shot his wife, and then turned the gun on himself.
The shooting happened at a home on Jerez Court, a typically quiet part of Volano Beach. The Florida Department of Transportation is getting your feedback on a new proposed interchange project at JTB in San Pablo.
Hampton Ray with FDOT says they're planning on putting in a diverging diamond interchange designed to help ease congestion and improve safety.
Drivers briefly travel to the left side of the road, and then they seamlessly return to the right side of the road following the interchange.
Ray says the DDI is able to handle an increase in traffic and also makes it safer for people who are turning left. He says FDOT is taking comments until the 24th. Stephen Ponson, News 104.5 WOKV.
WOKV News Time 10:32. The warm-up on the way for the weekend, and more Mark K next.
Partial government shutdown.
There is a growing humanitarian and security crisis at our southern border.
Much of what we heard from President Trump throughout this senseless shutdown has been full of misinformation.
This situation could be solved in a 45-minute meeting.
This is where Jacksonville turns first for breaking news. News 104.5 WOKV.
If your home was built before 1975, I have an important message you need to hear. Homes built before 1975 were built with cast iron pipes that are corroding right beneath your feet. Many homeowners are unaware, and your pipes may be decaying completely out of sight. This ticking time bomb can lead to devastating water damage to your home. Our firm is currently representing thousands of Florida homeowners to make their insurance companies pay to replace and repair their pipes. Our lawyers have successfully won money for clients to repipe their homes, but your time to file a claim may be limited. If your home was built before 1975, visit pipelawsuit.com or call us now at 800-888-1234. To find out if your home is affected, visit our website at pipelawsuit.com or call us now at 800-888-1234. Morgan & Morgan. Offices, Jacksonville.
After a record-breaking year at Diamonds Direct, we just want to say thank you for your support, your confidence, your trust. It's never something we take for granted, and we pledge to work even harder in the new year to exceed your expectations. And for 2019 at Diamonds Direct, we're expanding our selection once again with an even larger inventory of hand-picked diamonds. These are precious 100% natural stones created literally billions of years ago deep in the center of the earth. Real, rare diamonds with lasting and proven value, offered at the guaranteed best price in America. Plus, we've expanded our selection of one-of-a-kind designer jewelry, the latest fashion-forward pieces you won't find anywhere else. If you're getting engaged or celebrating a special anniversary this year, come let us share our passion for diamonds. Let us show you how to identify real value, and let us help you make the most of this remarkable moment in your life. Diamonds Direct, offering the unique blend of uncompromising luxury and unbeatable value. Come discover the remarkable combination for yourself. Get details, directions, and store hours at diamondsdirect.com.
Guys, are you not performing the way you used to in the bedroom? This can happen at any age. Senegenics Elite Health is helping men reach peak sexual performance with the revolutionary Gainswave ED treatment. There are no shots or pills with Gainswave. It's safe acoustic wave therapy that's pain-free. You can be spontaneous, and there's no downtime. Call Senegenics Elite Health to schedule a free consultation at 904-500-5500 or visit GainswaveJax.com.
At Planet Fitness, you can get down with your judgment-free self. Join for only $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. Now through January 15th. With a deal like that, what have you got to lose? Join in club or online at planetfitness.com.
See club for details.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
An 8 on the WOKV weather meter. Partly sunny today. Highs will top out near or a bit above 60. Partly cloudy tonight, not as cold. Staying well above freezing, only dropping into the 40s. Partly to mostly cloudy tomorrow. Brief shower, especially near the coast, but mostly dry. Highs in the upper 60s and mostly cloudy and mild Sunday. A few showers, but plenty of dry hours and a high of 73. With the First Alert forecast, I'm Action News Jack's chief meteorologist Mike Burrish for News 104.5 WOKV.
Now, Safe Touch Security First Alert traffic.
There's a broken down vehicle on the West Beltway southbound ramp to I-10, but no delays getting onto I-10 eastbound and over to the I-95 split will take just 5 minutes. Continuing on I-95 southbound from there, you're still moving freely. 13 minutes will get you from the I-10 split over the Fuller Warren Bridge and down to the Beltway. With Jacksonville's most frequent traffic, I'm Brian Riley.
Now, the 3 big things you need to know.
City Councilwoman Anna Brochet filing to run against Mayor Lenny Curry for his spot. Around 800,000 federal employees will not be receiving a paycheck today for the first time since the partial government shutdown started. And police in Wisconsin are going to share more information this morning about the discovery of a 13-year-old girl who went missing in October when her parents were found shot to death. It's 10:36. I'm Adam Kirk.
Y'all got to get Mark K more time on the air. Be careful what you wish for, Jacksonville. You just might get it. We want us some Mark K. Where entertaining meets informative.
You make it easier to go to work knowing I get to listen to you for 2 hours a day.
Local stories, local issues.
Just call it like it is. You are standing solid on truth. I love your show, brother.
This is the Mark K Show on News 104.5 WOKV.
Somebody do a study and find out how many banks are offering interest-free loans to federal workers who are not being paid right now.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I know Navy Federal Credit Union is doing it. If you're in the military, U.S. Employees Credit Union, Wells Fargo. I don't know if Wells Fargo is offering interest-free loans, but they'll definitely work with you. That's what they said. Call 1-800-2-WELLS if you're a Wells Fargo customer. There's unemployment. There's a ton of places where you can apparently find interest-free loans. That's 0% interest. That means that there's no fees to process the loans, and they're doing all that. Should you need assistance during the government shutdown, which is really cool. And also, I'm going to be honest with you, makes it easier for Donald Trump to hold off Congress and to fight this fight with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. It makes it a lot easier for him to stand up and say, hey, America's behind us. In fact, Donald Trump apparently got on the phone and talked to these bank leaders and said, this is the fight that we need to fight. You need to do what you can for your members and for Americans. And they're stepping up. By the way, total side note, according to our Facebook poll, everybody loves Ted Cruz's new beard. Who knew, man? If you didn't see the photo of Ted Cruz in Texas on the border with Trump wearing his barn jacket, hanging out there with the Border Patrol and the president, sporting his new salt and pepper beard, it's really all the ladies are loving it. All the ladies are loving it. 855-765-1045. This is Chris in Jacksonville. Chris, thanks so much for calling. How are you, Chris? What do you want to say?
I'm fine. I just think you use the term leadership loosely on the Democratic side, because anyone who would support illegals, the word illegal just defines it all over our citizens, and compromise is a word for leadership. They take care of their citizens, they take care of their people first. A good leader does.
Well, look, leadership can be good, but you can have bad leaders too, and you can have good. What I said was there's strong leadership on both sides. Whether or not you morally believe what they're trying to sell you, whether or not you have the same thought processes and value system as they do, it's totally different. But the fact that they're leading strongly can't be denied. And Donald Trump is doing the same thing. Hey, thanks so much for calling. We appreciate it. Walter in Stark, thanks for calling the Mark K Show. How's it going?
Fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Oh, good. What do you want to say, Walter?
For a long time, I was a Democrat until I got smart and started paying attention to politics, and I found out I was on the wrong side of the track. But yeah, I'd like Mr. Trump to stay his ground and not give in to the Democrats, because they blow my mind. But why don't we just borrow the money from Amazon and pay them back with some good tax breaks?
Yeah,
that wall.
Somebody wrote that on Facebook the other day. They said, hey, you know what? Jeff Bezos hates Donald Trump. Jeff Bezos' wife hates Jeff Bezos. We should just hit her up for the money, because if she really wants to take off her ex-husband, all she needs to do is write a check for $5 billion and build Trump's wall. I mean, the owner of the Washington, he'd go ballistic. You know he's going to put that in the prenup. He's going to be like, look, you can have half of everything, but you cannot give any money to the Republican Party. I draw the line with that. 855-765-1045. The other thing that guy just said, which is really important. I mean, it's really, I'm not trying to be facetious or funny, but it's really important. He said, I was a Democrat a long time ago until I started paying attention to politics. And that is more true than you actually, the people always say, God, Republicans, they're just a bunch of old men. Well, you know why? Because you really don't become a conservative Republican until you get older. And you stop thinking, pie in the sky, and you start thinking realistic. And you start going, well, you know what? I'm making all this money, but it's going, so I'm not getting anything for it. Or, we should definitely help everybody in the entire world, but can we fiscally, is that fiscally responsible? Is it even possible? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, perfect example of this. She's what? 10? 10-year-old, she gets elected to Congress. She goes in there and says, you know what we need? We need free health care, and we need free schools, and we need free electric cars, and we need to live in a utopian society. And we're like Unikitty from the Lego movie. Everything's sunshine and rainbows. Yay. But what happens in reality is when you say it's only going to cost $30 trillion, people laugh at you. And she's 10 now. In 20 years, when she's 30, she may look back at some of these tapes and go, you know what? I really was an idiot. I really was I didn't know what I was thinking about. And a lot of people do that. They will go back and look at what they did and what they thought. I mean, how many times, if you're over the age of 45 or 50, how many times do you look back at something you did or you thought or you wanted to be or some silly protest you took, but whatever, and you think back to yourself and you go, man, boy, was I stupid. If I had it to do all over again, I wouldn't do that, because you're older, you're wiser. You're paying attention more. And that's exactly what that guy just said. I started paying attention to politics and I realized I was on the wrong side of it. 855-765-1045. This is Andrew in Ponte Vedra. Andrew, thanks for calling the Mark Kaye Show. What do you want to say, sir?
Hey, good morning. It's just curious to me that walls are immoral and ineffective, and yet we continue to use them around prisons and people continue to buy houses in gated communities. I hope President Trump thinks tough.
Dude, of course. I mean, it's such a ridiculous argument. There's walls if you look, there's a stretch of 295 that they built a couple years ago. It's right there by Bay Meadows Road, a huge stretch of 295. And the first thing they did after they started construction on that was build this massive wall. And they built it super quickly. And I've often thought to myself, I don't know who built this wall, but they did it in like 3 weeks. We should send them down to the border because the thing's got to be like 35 feet high. And they did it for two reasons. Number one, they did it to block the view of 295, of 9B as they were building it. They did it to block the view from the residents on Bay Meadows Road. That's number one. They also did it to protect them from some drunk jerkwad who drives off the road in the middle of the night, veers off the median and down the side into the embankment, and to keep them from running across the street and into your house, they built this big wall. They did it in no time, and nobody complained. Well, I'm sure somebody complained, but they didn't complain to me. So walls are in everybody's plan when it comes to safety and keeping Americans safe. And if we can build a wall along 295 at Bay Meadows Road, to keep people safe from drunk drivers, there's no reason why we shouldn't build a wall along, the Mexican border to keep people safe from criminals and illegal activity and drugs. But that's just me. I'm older. I'm wiser. I'm like that other guy. I realize now how stupid I was when I was young. Mike from the West Side. Hey, Mike, thanks so much for calling the Mark Kaye Show. How are you?
How you doing, Mark? I know a way they can fund this wall real easy.
All right, what is it?
Okay, that the Democrats and the liberals can't say nothing about it because it's all voluntary. Come February, March, and April, everybody in the United States will be doing the taxes. And on every tax form, after you put down your name and address, the next line you see is anybody wants to contribute $1 to the presidential fund, yes or no, it won't be taken out of your refund. We'll put a line underneath that and put down everybody that wants to contribute to the funding of the border wall, how much your amount is, and that'll solve the problem.
Yeah, it's
3 months, they'll get all the money, and the Democrats and liberals can't say nothing about it. And 87% of the American people want the wall. So less people stand up and give them the money.
That's a great idea. It's like at Publix when they ask you, when you're checking out and they're like, would you like to round up for charity or would you like to donate $1 to this? I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I don't want to look like a heel. So maybe we could get with Publix and we could do one of those things and they ring the bell because that's the other thing that happens, right? They go ding and everyone cheers. Yay, we got another donation. And maybe they round up for cancer. I think that's the other one, isn't it? Or stand up for cancer. I'm getting all my charities mixed up. Stand up for the wall. There's one. 855-765-1045. Remember Farm Aid? Remember Comic Relief? Remember all those? Band-Aid? What if we did Wall Aid or Wall Relief or something like that? We get a bunch of mega stars, probably mostly country artists. They put on a concert. We sell tickets. We do a big telethon. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Get me some country artists on the phone. 855-765-1045. We got to take another break. We got some more of your open mic messages and your calls about the wall and the furlough. And is it actually bad? Do government workers care or are government workers like, woohoo, free money, holiday? More of your calls next on The Mark Kaye Show on News 104.5 WOKV.
Don't want to miss a minute of the fun of The Mark Kaye Show? Listen live everywhere you go in the News 104.5 WOKV app. This is The Mark Kaye Show.
Now, the three big things you need to know.
Jacksonville's mayor's race is taking shape as City Councilwoman Anna Brochet has filed to run against Mayor Lenny Curry. Around 800,000 federal employees will not be receiving a paycheck today for the first time since the partial government shutdown began. And police in Wisconsin sharing more information this morning about the discovery of a 13-year-old girl. She went missing in October when her parents were found shot to death.
The only station in Jacksonville that alerts you about severe weather every 90 seconds. When you hear these tones, WOKV First Alert Storm Center has been activated to keep you and your family safe and informed. This is where Jacksonville turns first for severe weather. News 104.5 WOKV.
You trust News 104.5 WOKV for breaking news, accurate weather, and traffic you can depend on. But you can trust us to deliver results for your business, too. Every day, WOKV provides our advertisers with solutions for their business. We make the phone ring and increase the foot traffic. Here's Lester Jackson of Safe Touch Security.
I recommend WOKV to a lot of other businesses here in town, and I believe they do a great job. Well, I tell you, the staff here at WOKV has been phenomenal. They always meet our needs.
News 104.5 WOKV reaches hundreds of thousands of listeners. And with today's headlines and economy, people are listening to WOKV closely and often.
I've been with WOKV for about 15 years now. They have done a great job on our marketing and advertising and creative. And I think that in the future we'll continue to work with WOKV because of the spectacular job they do.
To grow your business and get the results you've been seeking, call General Sales Manager Bob DeBloy directly at 245-8732. News 104.5 WOKV. Your business can depend on it.
Hey, it's Mark Kaye from The Mark Kaye Show. Couple things. First of all, thanks so much for making WOKV your #1 station. And thank you for tuning in to The Mark Kaye Show, the fastest growing talk show in Jacksonville. And that's not fake news. I want to return the favor. I want to help you grow your business too. So let's work together. Contact General Sales Manager Bob DeBloy at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Get your business growing by teaming up with me, Mark Kaye, and The Mark Kaye Show. Call 245-8732. That's 245-8732.
Even in my own home, I had my own designated space to smoke. If I think about it, it really was like I was punishing myself. A friend of mine said, why wouldn't you just try the Juul? And so I went out and I bought one. The idea of going back to smoking, I couldn't even imagine doing that. I don't think anyone, including myself, thought that I could switch.
Carolyn made the switch October 2016. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Imagining a better bank starts with looking at the savings rates most banks offer and saying, really? Capital One is building something better. You can open a Capital One savings account with one of the nation's best savings rates from anywhere, like here, or here, or here. One of the nation's best savings rates. Opened online, at a Capital One location, or from anywhere. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One NA, member FDIC. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
The start of a warming trend today. It'll be partly sunny, still a bit cool, but not a whole lot of wind. Highs around 60 degrees. It's an 8 on the WOKV weather meter. Partly cloudy and not as cold tonight. Will only drop into the 40s and increasing cloudiness tomorrow with a brief shower, especially near the beaches, but a mostly dry Saturday and highs in the upper 60s. Mostly cloudy Sunday with a few brief showers, but highs in the low to mid 70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish for News 104.5 WOKV.
Now, Safe Touch Security First Alert traffic.
There's an object on the road on the Buckman Bridge heading southbound. It has the right lane blocked, but no delays getting from Blanding over the Buckman into the 95 ramps. Is still a 10-minute drive. On the East Beltway southbound, there's a broken down vehicle at the Southside Connector over on the right shoulder, but no slowdowns through the area there. With Jacksonville's most frequent traffic, I'm Brian Riley.
The WOKV app just got an upgrade. Now, the 3 big things you need to know are in the palm of your hand. Get the all-new WOKV app now for Apple or Android. This is where Jacksonville turns first for breaking news, weather, and traffic. News 104.5 WOKV.
Maybe we should get Disney to design the wall. That way it wouldn't be such an eyesore.
Look, he's joking, but I'm 100% about turning this wall into an amusement park, some kind of theme park. Think about this. You have, if you have a wall with rides and have you ever been to south of the border in South Carolina? Right? It's like, it's the border of South Carolina and North Carolina. And first of all, what they did was it was a truck stop or it was a gas station at first. And they realized, hey, you know what we need to do is we need to get some more business. We need to get some more business. So they started building like really kitsch, cheesy shops.
That place is amazing.
They had this whole Pedro thing going on. They're selling hats. They're selling sombreros. They have hot dog stands. Then they started building like motor lodges and hotels and places like that. And they built it up into not really an amusement park, but now it's way more than a truck stop. It's like a little tiny world. And people go there. And the other thing is the billboards. They start these billboards like 120 miles out. You're driving through South Carolina and you see a billboard, Pedro says you're almost there. And then there's like a picture of a sausage and it goes, you never sausage a place. And it's really, those are my favorite parts of the billboards. And it keeps the kids entertained. Why can't we make the border wall a fun experience? Why does it have to be so negative? Why can't we do the Great Wall of China? The Great Wall of China is one of the 7 wonders of the world. It is a huge tourist attraction. I assume it makes them some kind of money. I mean, China's the second biggest economy in the world. They've got to be cashing in somehow. And it is so recognizable. We could build some kind of structure on our border that is, like look at, what's the other one? The, Niagara Falls. You've got Niagara Falls on the border of Canada and the U.S. You got the Horseshoe Falls on Canada, and you got the other one, the boring one, on the United States side. And they've got all sorts of people go there. It's like a #1 tourist destination for honeymooners. They've got all sorts of fantastic restaurants there. People come and take photos. It's amazing. I mean, we're missing out on an opportunity to make the wall a positive thing, to really build, to build an economic, to make it economically bountiful. And to make it something that people are excited about. And people from Mexico and people from the United States can both come together, and you can stand on the wall. You can see Mexico. You can see the United States. You can go home to your respective countries, and, everything is hunky-dory. I don't know why that's not a thing. Cassie from Middleburg, thanks so much for calling the Mark Kaye Show. How are you, Cassie?
I'm fine, but you just stole my thunder. I literally was calling to say, why not make it like the Great Wall of America? We can charge people to walk across it. They can have restaurants and coffee bars, sell T-shirts. I mean, it could be a real moneymaker.
It really could. And I think more and more support would be the Great Wall of America. I love that name, by the way. You need to register that website address right now, because that's phenomenal. Don't make it the border wall. Don't make it the barrier between the United States and Mexico. Don't make it steel and concrete. Make it the Great Wall of America. Put a museum there, some children's rides. That's exactly right. And on the 4th of July, we would have a celebration with fireworks shooting into the air. And we could do it on Cinco de Mayo, too. Why not? People are looking at it negatively. You've got to turn that frown upside down. You've got to make it a positive. Get Starbucks involved, man. Everybody loves Starbucks. Well, except people that like to carry guns in the coffee shops. Hey, Chuck in Jacksonville. How are you, Chuck?
I'm doing fine, Mark. How are you today?
I'm good, man. What do you want to say?
Okay. One thing, these people crying in their beer saying, oh, they're going to foreclose on my house. They're going to take everything I got. Well, if they're making $100,000 a year, they should have some money put aside. Number two, they don't foreclose on a house after 2 weeks.
No, they don't.
They wait 3 months before they start foreclosing. So if they're going to foreclose on somebody's house, they're already 2 months behind. Hello.
I'm glad you said it. I didn't want to be the one to point that out, but you're right.
I got another thing.
Oh, yeah. What's it real quick? What you want to say?
Okay. I came to America in 1958. I was naturalized, and I went to kindergarten, and they said, no, you can't come to kindergarten because you don't know English. So I took a year and tried to learn what I could learn. Went to first grade, and they said, no, you don't know enough English. Take a hike. What happened to that?
Where did you come from?
I come from Brazil.
Oh, I was about to say your English is better than most people I know who grew up in the United States of America. And I'm not sure how it works with the English proficiency because I, too, am from a foreign land. I was born in Canada, and I came here when I was 8, and I had to go. It took a while. It took a long time. But when I was 18, I guess because my parents were citizens, so I just hung out. But when I was 18, they're like, look, you want to stick around? You got to go become a citizen. And I went and I filled out the paperwork and I did this and that. And I went in there and they said, well, you need to take an American history exam. And I said, great. So I took the American history. It was 10 questions. I got 9 of them right. You know what? Whatever. I didn't really study. Now I could probably get 10 out of 10. But I got 9 of them right. And then they said, we need to give you an English proficiency exam. And I said, no, it's okay. I speak English. And they said, well, we need to know that you speak English. And I said, no, I only speak English. I don't speak any other languages. And they looked at me and they said, well, then you should have no problem with this. So I go in the little room and I sit down at the desk and they look at me and they say, repeat after me. And I go, okay. And they say, the yellow car parked around the blue building or behind the blue building. And I go, the yellow car parked behind the blue building. And then they said, write it down. So I got a pen and I got the little sheet of paper and I wrote the yellow car parked behind the blue building. And I slid the sheet of paper over to the attendant there. And she looked at it for a long time. And she turned it back around. She pointed. She goes, what is that word? And I looked at it. I go, that's yellow. And she points to another. She goes, what's that word? I go, that's building. I don't speak any other languages. I only speak English. And so I passed the English proficiency exam and I got to become a citizen. But that wasn't that long ago. I mean, is that not still a thing? I mean, when you want to become a citizen, I feel like they do quiz you and they do test you. I don't know if they deny, like if I'd failed the English proficiency exam, would I have been denied citizenship? Maybe that's it. Maybe there is an exam, but if you fail it, you still get to go on anyway. Like my high school teachers who were just sick and tired of having me in class, so they passed me no matter what, so I wouldn't come back the next year. 855-765-1045. 855-765-1045. This is Diane in Ponte Vedra Beach. Diane, thanks so much for calling the Mark K Show. What'd you want to say?
Hey, Mark. Thanks for taking my call. I spoke to you probably last month. I started the Trump Club of St. Johns County, and you said, what's a Trump Club? We've got about 250 members, and this is the kind of stuff we do on Monday. We have our meetings on first Monday. But what I was going to talk about was it's not about the wall. It's not about the wall. It is about that the wall is a symbol for the Democrats because they hate Trump so much and he cannot win.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, they need illegal aliens to come in and become voters.
No, absolutely right. And you're right about that. And I'm sure that the Trump Club all agrees. But the wall, you're right. It's symbolic. If Donald Trump builds that wall, he's basically building a wall around their hopes of becoming president in 2020. 855-765-1045. Quick break. We'll be right back. This is the Mark K Show on News 104.5 WOKV.
WOKV FM Atlantic Beach. Powered by New South Factory Direct Windows. Listen everywhere in the WOKV app. News 104.5 WOKV, a Cox Media Group station. This is News 104.5 WOKV, where Jacksonville turns first for breaking news, severe weather, and traffic alerts. On air, online, on every device with the WOKV app.
Live team coverage starts now.
Good morning, Jacksonville. It's 10:59. I'm Adam Kirk in our top national stories. Some of the 800 100,000 federal employees affected by the partial government shutdown will not get paychecks for the first time today.
Most of the federal employees affected, including workers in the Treasury, Agriculture, Justice, and Homeland Security departments, will miss pay for the first time on Monday and Tuesday if the shutdown lingers. In the past, Congress has provided back pay to furloughed workers, but those who are contracted by the federal government are simply out of work and won't get back pay. In New York City, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
In a couple of minutes, we're expecting to learn more about the missing Wisconsin teenager who was found alive months after disappearing. 13-year-old Jamie Kloss was found last night in a remote area after apparently escaping her kidnapper. She'd been missing since October when her parents were murdered in their home. Her uncle is stunned.
Unreal. It's what we've been waiting for 88 days.
Police say they have one suspect in custody. Again, we'll learn more in a couple minutes. Changes may be coming soon to your drive to the Mayo Clinic.
The Florida Department of Transportation is taking comments until the 24th on the new proposed diverging diamond interchange at JTB and San Pablo Road. Hampton Ray with FDOT says the DDI briefly takes drivers on the left side of the road, then back to the right after the intersection.
It's a really innovative concept.
Ray says the DDI is designed to ease congestion and make it safer for people turning left. He says construction is expected to start this upcoming winter. Stephen Ponson, News 104.5 WOKV.
Former City Council President Anna Brochet has filed to run for mayor this morning. Today at noon is the deadline to qualify for Jacksonville's municipal election. Once that deadline passes in a couple hours, we'll have a better idea of exactly how the mayoral and several other races are going to look. WOKV News Time is 11:01 when the highs will return to more Florida-like temperatures and more of the Marquez Show next.
Stay connected with the WOKV app. Listen to News 104.5 WOKV anytime, anywhere. Get the latest breaking news and share your thoughts using the open mic. It's simply the best. Download the News 104.5 WOKV app now. This is where Jacksonville turns first for breaking news, weather, and traffic. News 104.5 WOKV.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
The forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Yeah, hon? Steven, what is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. If you need new windows or doors for your home, heads up. This message is for you. New South is having a one-day factory sale this Saturday only in our factory showroom. 40% off high-performance award-winning windows, 40% off energy-efficient windows and patio doors, 40% off our factory direct products installed. Bring in your measurements for on-the-spot pricing or call today. One day only, this Saturday from 9 till 4. New South Windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers, and we guarantee them for life. Please visit us at newsouthwindow.com.
Poor security is a crime waiting to happen. If someone is assaulted in a parking lot or on a commercial property, the owners may have to pay for their negligent security. Farron Farah. Call us at 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Mark A from the Mark A Show, and we are gearing up for March Madness. All right, WOKV listeners, are you ready? You have a chance to win tournament tickets. Today's NCAA code word is GUARD. GUARD. Visit WOKV.com right now and enter to increase your chances. Code word GUARD.
Florida Pump Service has been providing fast, reliable well pump service for over 69 years. Call Florida Pump Service at 269-0202 or online at floridapumpservice.com. Florida Pump Service. We make water happen.
If you hear somebody say, I love my job, then you must be talking with someone from Arlington Toyota. I'm Rick Doran, General Manager, and our team doesn't just come to work. They come to make a difference, and it shows.
Hello, my name is Chauncey Andrews. I'm a service advisor at Arlington Toyota, and I love helping my customers every day.
I'm grateful to every member of our Arlington Toyota team. You're the real deal of excellence at work.
Join the Arlington team at arlingtontoyota.com.
Big with a free energy savings glass package from American Window Products. Visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
American Windows.
Wakeoff's AC brings you the 5-day forecast. When your AC breaks, they get there fast.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
An 8 on the WOKV weather meter. Partly sunny today. Highs will top out near or a bit above 60. Partly cloudy tonight, not as cold. Staying well above freezing, only dropping into the 40s. Partly to mostly cloudy tomorrow. Brief shower, especially near the coast, but mostly dry. Highs in the upper 60s and mostly cloudy and mild Sunday. A few showers, but plenty of dry hours and a high of 73. With the First Alert Forecast, I'm Action News Jack's Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish for News 104.5 WOKV.
Now, Safe Touch Security First Alert Traffic.
Arlington drivers on the East Beltway southbound. I'm looking at the traffic maps now, and you're incident-free. Just 10 minutes will get you from Heckscher over the Danes Point Bridge and down to JTB. Beaches drivers, you're also moving freely on JTB East and westbound. Just 11 minutes between A1A and I-95. With Jacksonville's most frequent traffic, I'm Brian Riley.
Now, the 3 big things you need to know.
Jacksonville's mayor's race is taking shape. City Councilwoman Anna Brochet filing to run against Mayor Lenny Curry.
2.
Around 800,000 federal employees are not getting a paycheck today for the first time since the partial government shutdown started.
1.
And Wisconsin law enforcement expected to hold a press conference in the next couple minutes on that missing teenager found alive after disappearing in October. Her parents were murdered. It's 11:06. I'm Adam Kirk.
I've got to get Mark K more time on the air.
Be careful what you wish for, Jacksonville. You just might get it.
We want us some Mark K.
Where entertaining meets informative.
You make it easier to go to work knowing I get to listen to you for 2 hours a day.
Local stories, local issues.
Just call it like it is. You are standing solid on truth. I love your show, brother.
This is the Mark K Show on News 104.5 WOKV.
855-765-1045 is the number. We got it. There's this woman, Kimberly Daniels. She's a Democratic representative here from Jacksonville, and she filed a bill proposing legislation that would require state-funded schools to offer religion classes. And we're going to talk a little bit about that here in just a minute because we got a ton of open mic messages, and a lot of people are really interested in that. I'm reading this article online. It says Representative Kimberly Daniels, a Democrat from Jacksonville, a former exorcist and self-described demon buster, filed HB 195 on Wednesday. As proposed, the legislation would require state-funded school districts in Florida to offer secular courses in religion, Hebrew scriptures, and the Bible as electives, meaning they are not required to graduate, but could be offered to kids in grades 9 through 12 and would be included in the state's Department of Education course code directory. We'll get to that here in just a minute, because I imagine we got some peeps that want to talk about that, but we do have some folks who've been holding very patiently. Mike in Atlantic Beach, for example. Mike, thanks so much for calling. What do you want to say about the border wall and the government shutdown?
Thanks, Mark. Enjoy your show. Most of the obstructionists on the part of the Democrats are just to hate Trump. What I say to do, why not what we've done and what's happened with other walls around the world, from the Berlin Wall, the DMZ in Korea. We gave them names. They all had names like Checkpoint Charlie, the Brandenburg Gate. Anytime the boat people came from Cuba was the Marietta boat people. Why don't we give names to the gaps where all these drug dealers, MS-13, child traffickers, where all they're coming from? So every time the Border Patrol picks somebody up, whether it's drugs or people, or anybody breaking the law, they say they came through the Pelosi gate or they came through the Schumer gate or whatever. So these people get their name in the news as much as we take hearing that these people are coming in.
That's a great idea. You really we have 23 immigrants who illegally broke through the Pelosi Pass on the border wall at McAllen, Texas. That's a great idea. And it is all in the way you brand it. It is. We just had a woman call in and say, hey, why don't we just call it the Great Wall of America? And then everybody would be all for it. Why don't we have Disney World design the wall? Somebody wrote that. The other thing is, there was a movie, I forget what it was about, a couple of speechwriters. It was Michael Keaton and Gina Davis from, I think it was called Speechless or something, but they were speechwriters for a campaign in Arizona, and they were both on different sides. Maybe it was New Mexico. It doesn't matter. It was one of those border states. And they were both on different sides, and there was somebody, and this was years ago, 20, 30 years ago. In this movie, the senators, or I guess they were running for governor, whatever it was, they were running for governor of New Mexico, and each one of them were fighting over what was not a wall, but a ditch. and they wanted to dig a ditch on the border of New Mexico and the United States. And the ditch was supposed to cut down on illegal immigration, and the ditch was supposed to keep illegal immigrants from coming across and trafficking human people and bringing in drugs. And they were battling over this ditch. And one of the Democratic, I remember this, the Democratic, what do you call it, candidate, kept calling it America's Wall. In, like it was rebuilt and it was built in Berlin and we rebuilt it here in America. It's a horrible thing. It keeps people out. And the Republican candidate nicknamed it the Friendship Ditch. And he basically said, look, good fences make good neighbors. We want to be friendly with Mexico. Let's call it the Friendship Ditch. And the news media picked up on it and they started calling it the Friendship Ditch. And all of a sudden it became this positive thing. And the Democratic candidate went ballistic. He was like, stop calling it that. Stop calling it the Friendship Ditch. Now, the Democrats are already doing this. Why? Because they call it not the wall. They call it Trump's wall. They don't call it the border wall most of the time. They call it Trump's wall. And if you look at any of these reports after Donald Trump, storms out of the meeting, threw a temper tantrum, stormed out of the meeting. Donald Trump is demanding that he gets $5 billion for what? For his wall. Trump wants $5 million for Trump's wall. It's going to be Trump wants to build his wall. It's not his wall. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's a wall for all. It is the Great American Wall. 855-765-1045 is the number. This is Greg in Jacksonville. Greg, thanks so much for calling the Mark Kaye Show. How are you?
Hey, I'm great, sir. Yourself? Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm a retired military veteran. I'm not currently employed by the government, but I got letters. I bank at several places with investments and whatnot.
Okay.
But I got letters from a couple of my major banks that said, hey, if you're a government employee, we'll extend you a interest-free loan until the government is turned back on. So I'm sure that other people bank.
So we can jumpstart this government. Yeah, we got to change the fuse.
Bank in a major bank and you've got some money in the bank.
Yeah.
You don't squander everything you make, then you can probably take them up on that. Another thing, I think the Republican Party hangs in the balance on this. Really, if Trump gives in on this, then the Democrats are going to own him. They'll never give him another thing. He's going to lose his base. People like me, I talk to my friends, are going to give up. Does our vote really count? Because you vote for them and then they don't do what they say they're going to do. And then, am I going to vote again? I don't know. I'm going to be hesitant to go to the polls because it's a waste of time at that point.
Greg, I don't know if you remember. Thanks so much for your call, by the way, too. And you said something else that I want to mention about banks. But I don't know if you remember the first big spending bill. Donald Trump came out, the Republicans, and Paul Ryan, they sent him this bill. It was like 2,000 pages. And Donald Trump came out. He had a press conference, and he set it on the table. And he walked out. He goes, I'm going to sign this bill, but I'm not going to like it. And he got reamed, man. We all raked him over the coals for that. We're like, well, then why the hell did you sign it? You put your name on something and you said you hate it, you don't like it, it's not at all what we need, and you sign it anyway. And I think he learned from that mistake. He learned from that mistake because he thought if he kept the government open, if he funded it, if he did raise the debt ceiling, did everything that Paul Ryan and the Republicans, and Paul Ryan is no strong leader. Don't be mistaken. Paul Ryan would kowtow to anybody. Yeah, he got up there in Obama's face a couple times. But Paul Ryan, for the most part, was a pleaser. He was a people pleaser. He didn't even want to be Speaker of the House. They basically forced him to do it. So he wasn't going to fight for anything. He just wanted to keep everybody quiet until he could silently skulk away at the end of his term. That was Paul Ryan. And Donald Trump, for whatever reason, listened to him and signed it and got reamed. And that's when he realized his base wants him to do exactly what he's doing, and that is fight and stand up and keep the government shut down and say, this is what you promised us, now go get it. And he's not going to make that same mistake twice. You're absolutely right. He knows if he signs anything that doesn't have border security funding in it, like you said, he's cooked. Now, regarding the banks, people think that banks are evil. Yet everybody has a bank account. And the bank, I know a lot of bankers. I bought a lot of property, sold a lot of houses, that kind of thing. The bankers, they want to be bankers. They don't want to be property owners. I've heard this from several. They don't want your property. They don't want your house. They don't want to take your home. They will lose money. Bankers make money when you own a house and you pay them interest. They are in the business of collecting interest. They're not landlords, nor do they want to be. They have no interest. You want to make a great deal? Go and buy a foreclosure, because the bank will unload it. They don't want to maintain it. That's not their thing. They would rather sell it, use the money to go loan to somebody else so they can make money on the interest. Ergo, if you can't make 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 payments, the bank will work with you. The bank will talk to you. The bank will come up with some kind of plan, because the last thing the bank wants to do is foreclose on your property. That's why they gave you a 30-year mortgage, because they want you paying them thousands of dollars every month for 30 years. So talk to your bank. That's why you're getting these interest-free loans for the government. That's why you won't have your house taken away if you miss one payment, because they don't want your house. They want your money. 855-765-1045. This is Gwendy in Jacksonville. Hi, Gwendy. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. I have a thought on the border wall.
Yeah.
Okay, if you watch the TV program Border Wars, all the time they're stopping people, they're searching cars, they're finding stacks of money in all sorts of interesting places. And they show that they take that money and they put it in boxes.
Yeah.
Why not use all that money to make the wall?
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Well, we had somebody else say, why don't we just use like the trade schools? You know how like when you have like there's a Paul Mitchell hairdressing school, right? You go there. If you're learning to do hair, you basically do haircuts for free or for like $5 or whatever, because you're in training. When I was in high school, we had the vocational school was right next to where I went, and they would bring in city buses. And when the city buses needed work, the high school students who were in like auto shop and mechanical classes and things like that, they would work to fix the city buses, which made me think twice about riding a city bus in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, because a lot of these guys were stoners. It doesn't matter. But they brought the buses in for the city, and the kids worked on it, and they learned how to be mechanics, and the city didn't have to pay for maintenance. And then the buses went off, and that kind of thing. I'm sure there's a bunch of vocational students or a bunch of vocational classes or people who are interested in learning about welding and engineering and construction and architecture and rebar, installation, whatever you need. You need a lot of rebar. That's all I know. And maybe bricklaying, these are great trades. And maybe we get some students to go in there and build the wall. That could be a thing. 855-765-1045. When they built the new Nordstrom at the town center, they invited all the kids to the zoo to paint little fish tiles, and then they built a wall in there out of the fish tiles. Maybe we just send fish tiles to all of the elementary schools, let the kids paint them and sign their names, ship them down to the border, you just plaster them up. There you go. And then the kids can go there with their parents and say, look, Daddy, there's my fish tile. We're making America great again. One fish tile at a time. 855-765-1045. We got to take another quick break. I apologize. If you're listening on Facebook or Twitch or whatever, feel free to comment and share and tell everybody you know about the show. We'll be right back on News 104.5 WOKV.
What is relevant, informative, entertaining, connected, funny, and interactive? Well, Lee checks most of those boxes. This is the Mark K Show on News 104.5 WOKV.
Now, the 3 big things you need to know.
Jacksonville's mayor's race is taking shape as City Councilwoman Anna Brochet has filed to run against Mayor Lenny Curry.
2.
Around 800,000 federal employees will not be receiving a paycheck today for the first time since the partial government shutdown began.
1.
And police in Wisconsin sharing more information this morning about the discovery of a 13-year-old girl. She went missing in October when her parents were found shot to death.
Traffic's bad enough on normal days.
I was probably about 15 minutes behind.
It is bad.
WOKV Advantage. First alert traffic every 6 minutes in the morning. We're helping you avoid the delays, find the alternates, and get to work on time. This is where Jacksonville turns first for traffic. News 104.5 WOKV.
An unreliable network can cost you money. That's why you need Comcast Business. Our gig speed network is fast. And we go beyond fast with the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup, which means that even if something like construction knocks out the power, you can still upload that presentation and not take a hit to your company's bottom line. For a limited time, switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Get 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines and sign up for EcoBill and automatic payment. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond other providers. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offerings 131.19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra. Subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited up to 6 hours. Requires Comcast Business Internet. Offer price requires EcoBill. Pay for this billing and auto pay through Comcast Business My Account.
I'm Dr. Michael Spencer at Riverside Dental and Implant Center. Maybe you've seen our TV commercials. Now, if you have bad teeth or just want a new, proud smile to change your life, call us at 1-877-NEW-TEETH for a free exam and consultation. We're proud to have helped over 20,000 happy patients, and we'd like to help you too. Implants, dentures that actually fit, and more. That's 1-877-NEW-TEETH. And it won't cost you an arm and a leg. What are you waiting for? Call us at 1-877-NEW-TEETH.
Repairing and replacing your roof can be stressful, but you can count on quality, honesty, and dependability when you hire Jack C. Wilson Roofing. Your experience is stress-free. JackCWilsonRoofing.com. Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company, the first name in Jacksonville roofing.
Is your business on the rise? Each week, one local business will be highlighted as the WOKV Business of the Week. Northeast Florida's most important media outlet is searching for businesses on the rise. To learn more and to nominate a business, go to WOKV.com and click on the Business of the Week tab. This week's Business of the Week is the Carpet Man. You can find them online at carpetman.biz.
Cox Health Marketing is a center of excellence for healthcare marketing. Our specialized team, backed by the vast resources of Cox Media Group, is dedicated to growing your business. Together, we have developed a process that is proven to produce real, impactful results.
Hi, my name is Melody Hutchison with Cox Health Marketing of Northeast Florida. If you're a local practice that wants to grow your business with the right patients and the right procedures, call me, 662-0750. That's 662-0750.
Wakeoff's AC brings you the 5-day forecast. When your AC breaks, they get there fast.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
The start of a warming trend today. It'll be partly sunny, still a bit cool, but not a whole lot of wind. Highs around 60 degrees. It's an 8 on the WOKV weather meter. Partly cloudy and not as cold tonight. Will only drop into the 40s and increasing cloudiness tomorrow with a brief shower, especially near the beaches, but a mostly dry Saturday and highs in the upper 60s. Mostly cloudy Sunday with a few brief showers, but highs in the low to mid 70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jack's Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish for News 104.5 WOKV.
Now, Safe Touch Security First Alert Traffic.
There's an object on the road on the West Beltway northbound at Commonwealth, but no delays. Still a 13-minute drive to get from I-10 up to the 95 ramps on the north side. West side drivers on I-10 eastbound, you're free and clear. Getting from the Beltway over to the I-95 split will take just 5 minutes. This report is brought to you by Racetrack. It might be cold outside, but the coffee at Racetrack is guaranteed to be hot and fresh. With Racetrack's new machines, you can get a freshly ground, freshly brewed cup of coffee by just pressing a button. Presto, hot, fresh, and ready for your drinking pleasure. Racetrack, whatever gets you going. With Jacksonville's most frequent traffic, I'm Brian Riley.
The debate rages on.
They're coming to our border and they're saying, we expect you to take care of us.
This is national security.
Use the open mic inside the News 104.5 app and let your voice be heard.
There should be no walls, no borders.
Fund the wall and stop the blame game.
This is where Jacksonville turns first for ongoing coverage of the partial government shutdown. News 104.5 WOKV.
This is the Mark K Show. My name is Mark K. All right, update on our poll, our Facebook poll regarding Ted Cruz's new beard. Overwhelmingly positive. Especially with the ladies. If you have missed Ted Cruz's new beard, his border beard, if you missed it, he was standing on the border with Donald Trump. And I think personally, from my standpoint, it was a showstopper. It stole the show from the president. Because I was looking at him and I was like, who is that guy? Who is that rugged individual standing next to the president? He looks a little like Ted Cruz with a big beard. And lo and behold, it sure was. So we put up a photo of it on our Facebook page. Go to Mark K Show on Facebook. That's where we stream the live.
Hello, ladies.
That's where we stream the live show, too. Ann says she likes it. David says, I'm still not going to kiss him, but it's a nice beard. Cindy loves it with a heart. Kim Sherman, I love it. I hope he keeps it. Tiffany Beavis, I love it. Leslie Hudson loves. Thomas McCree, he looks like a homeless person. Well, okay, that's fine. But a lot of people, homeless people need love too. 855-765-1045. This is Mike in Jacksonville. Mike, thanks so much for holding. What'd you want to say, Mike?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good, man. What'd you want to say?
Hey, the solution is so simple to pay for the wall and any other kind of small stuff that we need to take care of.
All right, give it to me. What's the simple solution?
All right, well, first off, I'm self-employed, so at the end of the day, at the end of the year, when I pay my taxes to Uncle Sam and I write that check to U.S. Treasury, it's usually about 39% of my income is what I have to pay.
Okay, so you're doing good.
We've got all these people in the country working. Some are legal and some are collecting checks, and a lot of them, some are working cash under the table, and a lot of that money comes in, people's workers' pockets, and then it goes through Western Union and other bank wire transfer systems to get back down to, south of the border.
Yeah.
All that Western Union cash transfers and any other kind of system used for transferring money down into the Southern Hemisphere, if we tax that at a 39% rate, one, we collect taxes from people who are not paying taxes because they're working for cash under the table, and use that fund to pay for the wall. Where if you tax money going to Mexico, 39%, Mexico, therefore, will pay for the wall. All that, it will come out of the money that goes to Mexico.
Look, I mean, you're right about that. There is a lot of cash under the table. There's a lot of money that we're missing out income on for the United States government because illegal workers are paid they either paid via check and then they cash the check and then, like you said, they funnel the money out of the country. I don't feel like we don't have the money. This is the other thing, too. People are like, let's do a GoFundMe page. Be not mistaken about this. The United States government has the $5.7 billion. That $5.7 billion is nothing. That is a drop in the proverbial bucket. They've wasted more money than that on God knows what, on stupid studies about, animal emotional, I don't know, projections. But there's money to be had in the government. It's just a matter of whether or not the Democrats want to give it to the Republicans and vice versa. And the money's there. It's just a matter of how are we going to spend it. And the Democrats, they don't think that this is going to bankrupt the government. They don't think that this is going to take away. Yeah, I hear people say, what if we spent the money on other things like education? Do you know what $5 billion toward public education would get you? Nothing. Nothing at all. It might get you an extra fry on every kid's plate at lunchtime. But $5 billion pumped into the United States education system is going to get you squat. People say, let's use it to help the environment. Really? How are you going to help the environment with $5 billion? How are you going to? It's impossible. It's not enough money to overhaul healthcare or education or the environment or fight global warming or any of these other things that I hear people saying we need the money for. But you know what it is enough to do? It's enough to build 200 miles worth of border wall. And maintain it and curb illegal immigration and curb the flow of drugs into the country. I mean, it's $5 billion. It's a lot to you. It's a lot to me. But to Jeff Bezos, his wife, their divorce attorneys, and the United States government, it's nothing. 855-765-1045 is the number. By the way, if you think about that, $5 billion pays for 200 miles of border wall. Jeff Bezos' wife is going to get half of $126 billion. She could build a border wall around the entire country, probably twice. 855-765-1045 is the number. Susan in Jacksonville, thanks for calling the Mark Kaye Show. What do you want to say, Susan?
Yes, I was just saying that the problem isn't all the issues just of like the border wall and the immigrants or whatever. It's actually because there's so much personalities involved that they're not negotiating right. And so they actually, if they could get a because they're on board with some of the stuff with each other, but if they could get a mediator in the room with them who knew what they were doing and could help them mediate through this, they would be able, they could come to, I bet you, a resolution of a lot of this stuff.
That's if they wanted one, but I don't think they do. I don't think, and look, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and the fact of the matter is every single day that the government is shut down, the Democrats think that they're getting more votes and vice versa. 855-765-1045 is there. It's not about mediation. It's not about getting anything done. It's about who's going to get elected in 2020. And if the government is shut down for another week, the Democrats believe that strengthens their base, and it takes votes away from Donald Trump. And if Donald Trump doesn't get this wall done, he believes that the same thing's going to happen to him. He's going to lose votes on his side. It's not about mediation. But if it were, you're right, a mediator would be a great idea. But that's not, the government's not about actually doing anything. Come on. That's funny. 855-765-1045. Send some open mics, too. This is the Mark Kaye Show. We'll be right back on News 104.5 WOKV.
This is News 104.5 WOKV.
Guys, are you not performing the way you used to in the bedroom? This can happen at any age. Cenegenics Elite Health is helping men reach peak sexual performance with the revolutionary Gainswave ED treatment. There are no shots or pills with Gainswave. It's safe acoustic wave therapy that's pain-free. You can be spontaneous, and there's no downtime. Call Cenegenics Elite Health to schedule a free consultation at 904-500-5500 or visit GainswaveJax.com.
Hey, it's Mark Kaye from The Mark Kaye Show. Couple things. First of all, thanks so much for making WOKV your #1 station. And thank you for tuning in to The Mark Kaye Show, the fastest growing talk show in Jacksonville. And that's not fake news. I want to return the favor. I want to help you grow your business too. So let's work together. Contact General Sales Manager Bob DeBloy at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Get your business growing by teaming up with me, Mark Kaye, and The Mark Kaye Show. Call 245-8732. That's 245-8732.
This is News 104.5 WOKV, where Jacksonville turns first for breaking news, severe weather, and traffic alerts. On air, online, on every device with the WOKV app.
Live team coverage starts now.
Good morning, Jacksonville. It's 11:30. I'm Adam Kirk, and we're following breaking news. We're getting an update on a miraculous story out of Wisconsin.
Today, we can finally say Jamie Kloss is home.
Where a 13-year-old girl escaped her kidnapper after being taken from her home months ago by a man who the FBI says stalked her family, planned the attack, and murdered her parents. This man helped Jamie Kloss after she escaped and says she was thin and filthy when she was found.
We asked her if she knew who the person was, and she told us his name, and she told us what color his car was. So as the wife was on the phone with the police, she told the police the name and the make of the vehicle and color.
Within the last 20 minutes, we've learned 21-year-old Jake Patterson was arrested in a traffic stop shortly after being identified by her, and he had no criminal history, they're saying. U.S. forces have started pulling out of Syria, meantime, while the Turkish military prepares a new offensive.
Earlier this week, President Trump's national security advisor, John Bolton, said U.S. troops would not leave Syria until they could guarantee the safety of the Kurds, America's allies in Syria. But NATO ally Turkey views the Kurds as an enemy and has already announced a new offensive against Kurdish positions in northeast Syria. At the Pentagon, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
And there could be a big change coming to your drive if you head to Mayo Clinic.
The Florida Department of Transportation is taking public comments until the 24th on a new proposed plan to put in a diverging diamond interchange at JTB in San Pablo. Hampton Ray with FDOT says the interchange will take drivers briefly to the left side of the road, then back to the right past the intersection, and is designed to ease traffic and help make it safer for people to turn left.
All indications appear that we will be moving to construction probably in the winter of this year.
Stephen Ponson, News 104.5 WOKV.
WOKV News Time 11:32. The roller coaster ride for the weather continues. We'll take a look at the warm-up coming and more of the Mark Kaye Show next.
You're very busy, but you want to stay informed. That's why you listen for WOKV's 3 big things you need to know. On air every 15 minutes. Plus in the WOKV app and now in your email. It's free every morning. To sign up, click the newsletter button on WOKV.com or in the WOKV app.
Compare, then choose Community Hospice and Palliative Care. At Community Hospice and Palliative Care, we consistently exceed all national rankings for patient and family care. And you know us. At Community Hospice and Palliative Care, we're members of your community, here to compassionately guide you during one of life's most difficult journeys. So compare, then choose Community Hospice and Palliative Care at ChooseCommunityHospice.com. Licensed in the state of Florida since 1979.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Some lawyers take the last offer on your case for many reasons. That could mean way less money than you deserve and way less than you should have gotten. Most settlements start with the insurance company offering less. The problem is some lawyers need the money even more than you do, so they just take it and tell you that that's the most you can get, but not us. We try more cases than any other personal injury firm in the country, and the insurance industry knows it. Visit forthepeople.com and download our free Verdicts magazine. For 30 years, we've helped hundreds of thousands recover what they deserve. Bullies only understand brute force. Every day, we drag their asses, kicking and screaming, to courtrooms throughout America. If you're injured and need someone to fight for you, call us. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone. Pound 529. Pound Law, that's all. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Offices, Jacksonville.
It's Rich Jones. Let's face it, predictable is not a word you would associate with investments, at least not investments that give you double-digit returns. But when you invest with DLP Capital Partners, predictable, high-yield investments are exactly what you get. Here's Don Wenner, CEO of DLP Capital Partners, with more.
Our fixed notes give you the opportunity to earn fixed rates of returns ranging from 6 to 10% based on how much you invest and for how long, with commitments as short as just 90 days. You have the option of taking distributions every month or letting your returns compound and grow.
There's a lot more research that you can do at highyieldreturns.net. To begin earning fixed rate returns of 7% or more today, dial ** invest on your cell phone. That's ** invest on your cell phone, or visit highyieldreturns.net.
An investment's past performance is not indicative of future results, and not all investments are suitable for every investor. All investments present risk, which in some cases could include your principal investment. Investors are advised to fully review and understand the investment materials and seek the advice of a financial and tax advisor.
At Planet Fitness, you can get down with your judgment-free self. Join for only $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. Now through January 15th. Now's the right time. You know it. Planet Fitness has cardio, weights, and locker rooms that sparkle like a glass of New Year's champagne. Only $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. Now through January 15th. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, the judgment-free zone.
Annual membership fee applies. State and local taxes may apply. Participating locations only. See club for details.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
An 8 on the WOKV weather meter. Partly sunny today. Highs will top out near or a bit above 60. Partly cloudy tonight, not as cold. Staying well above freezing, only dropping into the 40s. Partly to mostly cloudy tomorrow. Brief shower, especially near the coast, but mostly dry. Highs in the upper 60s and mostly cloudy and mild Sunday. A few showers, but plenty of dry hours and a high of 73. With the First Alert Forecast, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish for News 104.5 WOKV.
Now, Safe Touch Security First Alert Traffic.
Westside drivers, there's a broken down vehicle on the West Beltway northbound before Pritchard Road. It's over on the right shoulder, not causing any delays. Still just 13 minutes. We'll get you from I-10 up to I-95. Drivers heading into downtown from the south side on I-95 northbound, you're free and clear. Just 12 minutes. We'll get you from the Beltway up over the Fuller Warren Bridge and to the I-10 split. With Jacksonville's most frequent traffic, I'm Brian Riley.
Now, the 3 big things you need to know.
Wisconsin leaders are calling it an amazing day as 13-year-old Jamie Kloss has been found alive.
2.
Around 800,000 federal employees will not be receiving a paycheck today for the first time since the partial government shutdown began.
1.
And Jacksonville's mayor's race is taking shape as City Councilwoman Anna Brochet files to run against Mayor Lenny Curry. It's 11:37. I'm Adam Kirk.
I've got to get Marquet more time on the air.
Be careful what you wish for, Jacksonville. You just might get it.
We want us some Marquet.
Where entertaining meets informative.
You make it easier to go to work knowing I get to listen to you for 2 hours a day.
Local stories, local issues.
Just call it like it is. You are standing solid on truth. I love your show, brother.
This is the Mark K Show on News 104.5 WOKV.
I am an employee of the state's government. My bank is covering my paycheck, and I've had a long vacation. I don't understand what the problem is, people. Keep your mouth shut. We're getting paid to sit home.
I mean, it's like Conan O'Brien when they fired him from NBC. He got $60 million to not work for a year and a half. That's great. I mean, who wouldn't love that? Who wouldn't love to get a paycheck? Let me ask you this question, because, you know, there's a lot of people that, you can call in and answer it. You can leave us an open mic message. You can go on the Facebook live stream right now or on Twitch, where we have, by the way, a grand total of 0 viewers, which is great. That's a great use of our time and resources. But you can go on there and you can answer this question. Here's the question, all right? Let's say your boss calls you and says, for the next 3 weeks, you don't have to come to work. You're not going to get paid, but after the 3rd week, when you come back to work, we will give you all the money then for the 3 weeks that you didn't work. Would you do it? Would you? Look, I got everybody in the control room raising their hand. This is the equivalent. This is what's happening. You're going to get your money. You're going to get paid. You're just not getting paid on your regular schedule. And I think a lot of these furloughed employees, like the one we just heard from, kind of understand that. People that are new to the government, people who maybe haven't prepared for this kind of incident, people who live paycheck to paycheck. And this is where it all comes in. This is why living to paycheck is a bad idea for anyone. It's a bad idea for me, for you, for government workers, for non-government workers, for panhandlers. You don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. You want to have that savings because God forbid the government gets shut down. You know, God forbid your government agency gets shut down. You know, people are all worried about the furloughed workers who eventually get to go back to work and get all their money. What about all the government workers from the agencies that Donald Trump already fired and shut down and said, we don't need this. This is a waste of money. Remember when he said, look, if you're going to create a new job, you've got to get rid of 2? What about those? No one cares about those government workers. It's only when it's convenient. It's only when Donald Trump, quote unquote, shuts down the government. Shutting down the government doesn't mean that it's not going to reopen. And when it reopens, the money's still that you're still going to get your money. They're going to vote on it, and it will include all of the pay that you're going to get. And a lot of people in the government, a lot of these 800,000 employees understand it, and they're prepared for it, and they're enjoying their time off. And on top of that, they're now getting interest-free loans from the banks. 855-765. And now, if you were one of the people that said no, imagine this. What if you got 3 weeks off, you didn't get paid, when you came back to work, you got all that money, and in the meantime, you could get an interest-free loan from the bank? Now would you do it? That's what I thought. 855-765-1045. Braden in Jacksonville. Braden, thanks for calling the Mark Kaye Show, and thank you for holding so patiently. What did you want to say?
Hey, man, I just wanted to say that regarding your comment about, trade students going to help build a wall or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a student over at Tulsa Weldon School, and I just wanted to say that I would be honored to be able to go over there and help build that wall after having gained the knowledge that I am over at Tulsa.
See,
so
and that's
I'm
pretty,
all about it.
That's something. I mean, there's a there was another movie. I think maybe it was like a Will Smith movie or something. But he was talking about how his dad was a bricklayer, and his dad laid the bricks of the Capitol in Philadelphia, or the town. What do you call it? The City Hall in Philadelphia, and it's something to be proud of. And his dad would take him down there and say, "Son, I helped build that building." And the guys in that famous painting that famous photograph on the Empire State Building, you take pride, like you said. Wouldn't it be cool for you to say, hey, when I was 20 years old, I went down to the border and I helped build the Great American Wall? And your grandkids, where they can be like, my granddaddy helped build that wall and helped make America great again and helped keep America safe. And thank you very much for calling. And I guarantee you're not the only one. I guarantee that you'd have a lot of people that would go out there. I mean, look at Habitat for Humanity. You've got people volunteering to build houses. You tell me you can't find people volunteering to build. I guarantee it's easier to build a wall. A house, you got to measure joints and make sure that everything there's going to be found. Walls just straight up. Just put the level on it, make sure it's straight. Keep throwing the bricks on top. 855. I assume I've never built a wall myself. 855-765. I built a birdhouse once, and the birds seem to like it. Hey, BC from Jacksonville, how are you?
Hey, we're doing good over here, Mark.
Oh, great, BC. What do you want to say?
Hey, man, I called in earlier and I said on the open mic that we should get Disney to build it, make everything look good. But I was thinking we should get Western Union to pay for this because I don't know. I think a lot of money might have been put through Western Union to other people down south.
Yeah.
So what's your take on it, Mark? What's your take?
We had another guy call and say the same thing. And look, there's a lot of money that is not accounted for and is not taxed. And to say that a lot of money leaves the United States from Mexico without getting taxed and there's no income tax being collected and no sales tax, yeah, that's true. But there's a lot of money inside the United States that's also under the table and that's not getting taxed and that people are kind of, skirting the system. It happens a lot. I mean, we do have a lot of lost revenue. But I've heard people say we should have a lottery and like they have in the Jaguars games. They walk around with the 50-50 and 50% goes to build the wall. And the other 50% goes to the winner of the lottery. I've heard all of these different things. The money is not, there's no need to tax Western Union. There's no need to hold a lottery. There's no need to hold a bake sale. There's no need to do anything because the money's there. It's just a matter of the Democrats saying, yes, we agree to let you use it for this purpose. And the Republicans saying, great, we will allow you to use the rest of the money to open the government back up. That's all it is. The money, it's not they don't have the money. It's they don't want to give it to Donald Trump. Steve on the road. Steve, thanks so much for calling the Mark Kaye Show. What do you want to say, sir?
How you doing, Mark?
Good, man.
All right. About this country is formed by liberty and freedom. I think you should just name the wall the Liberty Wall and got to go through the freedom gates to get there.
That's a great idea. Liberty, freedom. There, I'm sure we should have a contest. What should we name the wall? You know, like you figure maybe you name it after somebody, some great American or some great Mexican or some great Mexican American. You know, maybe you name it after. I know a lot of people say Donald Trump wants to put a big T on it, called the Trump wall. But maybe look, there's a way. Even the highway system in the United States of America. How many times have you been driving down a highway and you see you're on the so-and-so Memorial Highway, or the Main Street Bridge is actually what? The Alsop Bridge. Anyone know who Philip Alsop or whatever his name is? Anyone know who that is? I have to Wikipedia myself. But there's all sorts of things that are named after people. You could even get people to sponsor the wall. There's a school, a Catholic school. And we, by the way, we were supposed to talk about this whole school issue, which we may not get to till Monday. But there's a Catholic school in here in Jacksonville, and they needed money to build it, so they sold everything. They sold the name of the school. They sold the name of the gym. They sold the name of the individual boys and girls locker rooms in the gym. They sold the name of the concession stand. I believe each classroom has some kind of name on it. And there are people out there, prominent Catholics, prominent Jacksonvillians, who donated a couple $1,000s here and there, and they got to basically put their name on something. Well, what if we sold, 10 square feet of wall? What if you got to put a brick with your name? This is, in memoriam. People buy benches downtown along the river, and they put plaques on them, and they say, hey, my grandpa loved the St. Johns River. He loved walking around down here. I bought him a bench with his name on it. People pay $89 to put their names on stars. You really think that there's any record that your name is on that star? You really think this company isn't just taking your $85 and sending you a sheet of paper? You think you actually have a name, a star registered in your name? Great. Think that. If you want to name the wall after somebody, that's a tangible. You could take them down to McAllen, Texas, or you could take them down to the border in Arizona, or you could take them down to California and say, look, mile marker 82, plot number 7, that's my part of the wall. And you could go down there and decorate it and paint it and visit it and whatnot. I mean, there's way, again, we don't need the money for the wall. We just need the money released. But there's tons of ways to make this a positive. 855-765-1045. One more quick break. We'll be right back. It's the Mark Kaye Show on News 104.5 WOKV.
You've heard Mark's take. Now it's your turn. Tell Mark what you think by using the open mic in the News 104.5 WOKV app. This is the Mark Kaye Show.
Now, the 3 big things you need to know.
President Trump will host a roundtable discussion on border security at the White House today. 2. Around 800,000 federal employees will not be receiving a paycheck today for the first time since the government shutdown started. 1. Wisconsin officials calling it an amazing day as 13-year-old Jamie Kloss has been found alive. The new information we've learned about her kidnapping and the murder of her parents. Jacksonville's News at noon in less than 10 minutes.
This time of year, a few hours can mean the difference between sunny and cool or severe thunderstorms. I'm Action News Jack's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish. Get my first alert forecast every 6 minutes in the morning. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on Jacksonville's Morning News on News 104.5 WOKV. Are you afraid of the IRS because you have unfiled or unpaid taxes? Most don't realize that having unfiled federal taxes is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail for each unfiled return. With the IRS, it's never a question of if they'll come, but when. Don't live in fear. Call J. David Tax Law now for a no-cost consultation at 904-606-0009. That's 904-606-0009. Or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Did your business start as a hobby? Let SCORE help you learn the fundamentals of small business ownership. SCORE is the nation's largest network of volunteer business mentors with approximately 10,000 volunteers in 300 chapters nationwide. SCORE has helped more than 10 million current and aspiring entrepreneurs through mentoring, workshops, and educational services. In 2016 alone, SCORE helped to create over 54,000 new businesses and add over 78,000 new non-owner jobs to the American economy. Give us a call today, 904-443-1900.
Why do local women watch Action News Jacks? Because the unexpected can mess up their day. They like to know about the rain, the recalls, and school changes because their families are depending on them. They need more than just crime stories. They want to be in the know with real investigations that truly impact them, not something they can just Google. Is that selfish? We don't think so. Their time is valuable. In fact, more women are now watching Action News Jax than any other station.
Even in my own home, I had my own designated space to smoke. If I think about it, it really was like I was punishing myself. A friend of mine said, why wouldn't you just try the Juul? And so I went out and I bought one. The idea of going back to smoking, I couldn't even imagine doing that. I don't think anyone, including myself, thought that I could switch.
Carolyn made the switch October 2016. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Imagining a better bank starts with looking at the savings rates most banks offer and saying, really? Capital One is building something better. You can open a Capital One savings account with one of the nation's best savings rates from anywhere, like here, or here, or here. One of the nation's best savings rates. Opened online, at a Capital One location, or from anywhere. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Hey, it's Mark K from The Mark K Show. Couple things. First of all, thanks so much for making WOKV your #1 station. And thank you for tuning in to The Mark K Show, the fastest growing talk show in Jacksonville. And that's not fake news. I want to return the favor. I want to help you grow your business too. So let's work together. Contact General Sales Manager Bob DeBloy at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Get your business growing by teaming up with me, Mark K, and The Mark K Show. Call 245-8732. That's 245-8732.
WOKV FM Atlantic Beach, powered by New South Factory Direct Windows. Listen everywhere in the TuneIn Radio app. News 104.5 WOKV, a Cox Media Group station.
At Farah & Farah, we handle complex trucking accidents, and they're nothing at all like car accidents. The injuries are usually much more catastrophic. Finding who's at fault involves investigating the truck driver, the trucking company, the shipper, and the maintenance people, just to name a few. That's why we have a dedicated team of attorneys who concentrate in these very complex cases. Farah & Farah. Call us at 396-5555, Jacksonville.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
The start of a warming trend today. It'll be partly sunny, still a bit cool, but not a whole lot of wind. Highs around 60 degrees. It's an 8 on the WOKV weather meter. Partly cloudy and not as cold tonight. Will only drop into the 40s and increasing cloudiness tomorrow with a brief shower, especially near the beaches, but a mostly dry Saturday and highs in the upper 60s. Mostly cloudy Sunday with a few brief showers, but highs in the low to mid 70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish for News 104.5 WOKV.
Now, Safe Touch Security First Alert Traffic.
St. Johns County drivers on I-95 northbound, you're moving freely getting up from State Road 16 at the outlets all the way up to the Beltway. Will take you just 16 minutes. On I-95 southbound before State Road 16, FDOT tells me that there's an object on the roadway blocking the 2 left lanes, but I'm not seeing any major delays through the area just yet. With Jacksonville's most frequent traffic, I'm Brian Riley.
Hey, it's Mark K from The Mark K Show. We've got a brand new studio and a brand new phone number. Write this down. 855-765-1045. That's 855-765-1045. If you want to get through to The Mark K Show, that's the number you have to use. This is The Mark K Show. Thanks so much for joining me. My name is Mark K. 855-765-1045. Todd and Callahan, what do you want to say about the government shutdown, sir?
Hey, Mark, I love your show. Glad you're on a couple more hours a day.
Oh, yay. Thanks.
My wife works for a contractor that services multiple federal agencies. And a couple of the agencies are still working, so she's not, completely without work. But it has cut under our bottom line, and she won't be getting any back pay. But
why won't she be getting back pay? Because I thought they guaranteed it for once the government reopens.
Not for contractors. That generally just goes for direct
because she's not a direct employee. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And but we need the wall, and we'll bite the bullet and do whatever we need to do, make it through. And like I say, we're not going to go without a paycheck. It's just going to be her paycheck's just going to be a little smaller. But the wall is something that needs to be built, and I hope that Trump doesn't make a bad political move and do the emergency declaration. I don't think that would be good, but I think he needs to hold firm where he's at, and eventually, it'll work out. He'll get the wall built and bring them to the table and
and we're prepared to bite the bullet and do whatever we need to do to make that happen.
All right, Todd. Well, listen, we appreciate it, and we appreciate your wife, and thanks so much for calling and sharing that with us. And I think that's the sentiment of a lot of the workers. Not all of them. Look, not all these government workers are going to be as supportive of it, but some are. And there's a great example. And yeah, okay, sure. If you're a contractor, you're not a direct report to the government, then yeah, it looks like you're going to have a tougher time. 855-765-1045 is the number. 855-765-1045 is the number. This is Dana in Jacksonville. Dana, hey, how are you? Thanks for calling the Mark Kaye Show. What do you want to say?
Okay, I have a quick way for Trump to pay for the wall, okay? El Chapo, okay? He's on trial for drugs and everything else.
Yeah.
You know if the death penalty is on the table or not?
I mean, I think it's more than just drugs. I think he's murdered several hundred people.
Right. Okay.
I mean, he's a bad dude.
That's fine. That's right. But I think the death penalty is on the table. Trump can take the death penalty off the table for $10 billion. The guy won't. He'll spend the rest of his life in jail. The trial is over, and we get $10 billion. Mexico just paid for the wall.
I mean, that's an interesting idea. I don't think you can just take you're basically selling a presidential pardon for, a commutation. You think the Democrats are annoyed with Trump now? Wait till he starts selling commutations. That's like a Hillary Clinton thing. She used to sell ambassadorships, and she would sell, she would rent out the Lincoln bedroom. That's more of a Clinton tactic. Donald Trump's not going to say, you want a commutation? $10 billion. And we'll keep you alive. Also, he wouldn't spend the rest of his life in jail, because I don't know if you know about that guy, but he tunneled out of more prisons than any. I mean, he's like a mole, man. He would tunnel out of prison. He would go party. He would tunnel back in. So the next morning, the guards thought he was still there. I mean, that guy escaped. And oh, great, and they were Mexican prisons. I don't know if he's ever tunneled out of an American prison. But hey, if Andy Dufresne can do it, I'm sure El Chapo can. Sam from St. Augustine, how are you?
Good.
Hey, thanks for holding, Sam. What do you want to say?
I think we're concentrating too much on the wall for the United States. I think it ought to be called the Wall of the Americas, or the Americas Wall, because in the end, it will benefit both Mexico. It'll stop the problem they're having on their southern border. It'll stop all the costs they're having on their towns on our border trying to support these people. And it will force the countries in Central and South America to readdress the problems they're having there instead of deporting all their people north.
Yeah.
So if it becomes a wall of the Americas, it would be more appropriate.
You know what I mean?
If you talk to anybody in South America, particularly, and you say I'm from America, they'll look at you kind of puzzled because they want to know where in America.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good point. Hey, thanks so much for calling. We appreciate it. And optics and branding, again, that's something we've talked about all day, is how you brand the wall to make it plausible and pleasing to everyone who hears it. The fact of the matter is, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in the House of Representatives, they're not going to be pleased by this at all, because a wall is a check box or a check mark in one of the boxes on Donald Trump's agenda items. It's a win. A wall is him being one step closer to a second term. And that's why if Donald Trump wants the wall built, he should come out tomorrow and say, the last thing we need is a wall on the southern border. A wall is a waste of money. A wall is stupid. Any Democrat who votes for a wall is crazy. If he did that, he would have his wall in 45 minutes. That's exactly what would happen. But but he made it public. He went out there and he said, this is my number one agenda item. And all the Democrats care about, they don't care about Mexico. They don't care about the drugs. They don't care about the United States. It's true. When Donald Trump said they don't care about the crime, they don't. All they care about is stopping Donald Trump. And if he wants it, they don't. Whether or not it's great for men, there's nothing they will ever agree with him on. So if he wants it, it's bad, and it's not going to happen. 855-765-1045. I just want to get to Tony quickly because he's been waiting like the whole show. Tony, thanks so much for calling. What'd you want to say?
Yeah. Hey, I just want to say I love the format of your show because of the taking so many phone calls from the listeners, and I just hope you keep it up. And as far as the $5.7 billion, when he's negotiating, he ought to throw Nancy Pelosi's words right back in her face and say, "Give me my crumbs."
I do remember that. Hey, thanks for the call, and thanks so much for the props too. We appreciate it. The reason I take so many phone calls is because it keeps me from having to actually prepare anything. But that's just our little secret. Listen, I gotta go. Have a great weekend, everyone. I promise we'll hit that religion and school things hard on Monday, unless of course they reopen the government. 855-765-1045. Stay tuned. The news and Rush Limbaugh's next on News 104.5 WOKV.
The partial government shutdown continues.
He couldn't get his way, and he just walked out.